Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing an Assassin Rogue PvP guide, and I have found the absolute most fun AoE cleave build for Valorant. It's amazing, it is so much fun to play, and a lot of people have asked me to make a guide on it, so let's go ahead and begin with the talents. So, for the first part on the left side, the main ones are going to be wanting to run are Subterfuge, Shadow Dance, Disloyalty, and you don't have to run this, but I prefer it with the Kingsbane combo, Cold Blood. If you don't want to run Cold Blood, some people do run Acrobatic Strikes, or whatever it's called. I can never pronounce things right. So that is up to you if you want to run that, but everything else is kind of like up to you on what you want to run. This is just my preferences, but you just want to run at least Subterfuge, Shadow Dance, Disloyalty, and then Cold Blood if you really want to. Otherwise, you could run Strikes. Everything else is, like I said, just strictly up to you on what you want to run. You could also switch maybe some things out if you want to run lower energy cost on Fate and Crimson and all that. Reduce duration slows. I mean, it's strictly kind of like up to you kind of thing, but as long as you have those four things that I've mentioned, that's pretty much all you need on the left side of the tree for this build. Now for the right side, for the cleave build, you're pretty much going to want to run Crimson Tempest along with the Fan of Knives type of talents. You also want Master Assassin for the extra crit strike, which would be pretty huge. Garrote Silence, because you're going to be garroting a lot. And then for the final thing you're going to want is Indiscriminate Carnage, which if you run this, Garrote and Rupture will apply to nearby enemies when used from stealth and for 10 seconds after breaking stealth. So you can pretty much just do this. Pop Garrotes, pop Grid on these ones, pop Rupture, Fan of Knives, Rupture, and you can see I have so much, all my bleeds applied to everybody here. Well, all of the target dummies anyways. So you'll just pretty much be cleaving, drop your Crimson Tempest to get even more bleed damage, and they just everything just flops. So it's pretty dang crazy, and that's pretty much how the bleed damage, or how your bleed damage is going to pretty much operate. So that's pretty much going to be it for the talents. Just make sure you run Subterfuge, Shadow Dance, Disloyalty, Cold Blood if you really want to, but this isn't absolutely mandatory like I feel like the other ones. You can run Strikes for the extra range on your melee if need to be. I just think Cold Blood's a lot more worth it than extra 3 yards, but no, like I said, I could be wrong. And then on this side, make sure you're running the Fan of Knives talents, which means Throwing Precision, Crimson Tempest, Flying Daggers, Master Assassin, Iron Wire, and make sure, and most importantly, you're running Indiscriminate Carnage with this build. Everything else is pretty much set in stone in my opinion too. So that's it for talents, pretty short and sweet. Now let's go on with the honor talents. I always run personally Dismantle, Hemotoxin, and Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb I feel like is always mandatory. You never pretty much switch this out. You could probably switch out Hemotoxin if you really want to, if you have a lot of Mortal Strike type of classes, but since Rogue generally also sometimes goes out and does their own thing and tries to into bases and stuff, I always run this generally most of the time anyways. If there's no melee, obviously you don't need to run Dismantle. The only other thing I really want to run is Veil of Midnight, and that's in case if there's like another bleed type class, which is generally Rogue or Feral Druid. If you don't want to run that, you could also run Creeping Venom against mobile classes. That's also another good option. And those are about the only other things I would suggest, if I'm being honest. You could also run Tricks of the Trade too. I mean, that's also another decent one to help your partner do damage. But those are about the ones that I would personally use. Now for stats. This is one of the most popular questions I got asked on stream, and you pretty much just want to go full mastery. That's what I've been doing. Full mastery, and your damage can be absolutely ridiculous. I have mastery helmets, mastery necklace, mastery shoulders, cloak, you pretty much get the point. So just run full on mastery, and that's pretty much it. If you don't have some gear that has mastery on it, just make it into a crafted piece. Like for example, there's only one mastery PvP ring, and I made a crafted ring for my second ring, so I can get even more mastery. The only gear piece you probably won't have mastery on is the boots, and then that's probably about it, besides obviously the trinkets and stuff. Oh, also, and the daggers, as I have war mode daggers, although I don't think Conquest ones have mastery too, if I remember right. So yeah, so just try and get mastery on every piece you can, pretty much. Embellishments. As you saw, I have the embellishment boots. Pretty much every leather class uses this. It's just standard leather class thing because leather classes have the most CC. Like druids have tons of stuns. Rogues especially built for this thing because they CC constantly, so you'll be getting a lot of stats from this, and so on and so forth. So get the leather boots. As for the second one, it's up to you on what you want to use. I would go either the one that increases your mastery above 90%. I don't have it yet. I don't have a second embellishment, unfortunately, because I kind of screwed up. But I would go either the mastery one that's above 90% health, you'll get a lot of mastery, or I would go with the one that gives you random stat increase. I forget what the name is. I think it's called Verdant Conduit. It gives you the random stat proc. And those are the only two I would pick. Either the mastery one above 90% health, or Verdant Conduit, which gives you random stats. Now for tier. With this build, you generally won't really use Envenom that much, or at least you'll use it sometimes, but you're going to be more spamming like Rupture and Crimson Tempest, with sometimes using Envenom. So I don't think it's generally worth it to get the 4 sets. I think the 2 set is pretty good. So just make sure when you get the 2 set, go for the one on the pants and the chest, because chest is obviously the best one. It has the 2 best stats with versatility and mastery. And then pants, it has mastery on it. So just get the 2 set and then you're pretty much good to go. And that's it for tier piece. Now for rotation, I did give you guys a general idea earlier, but what you want to do is just pop Garrote and Rupture on as much people as you can, Fan of Knives if there's a lot of people stacked, and then just Crimson Tempest when you have a large amount, and then after that, Shiv, Thistletea, Kingsbane, and then boom, Crimson Tempest or Envenom again, because you probably will just want to keep cleaving stuff. And then if your dots go off, make sure you reapply Rupture and Garrote, etc. And then if there's more people, Fan of Knives. And if you have Crimson Tempest, just Venom. Or if you don't have Crimson Tempest dot on them, you do that instead. That's pretty much the rotation. It's pretty simple. Other than that, if there's a lot of people stacked near you, you Shadow Dance, Garrote, Rupture most of them. And then make sure you, if none of them are, if you're missing some, make sure you Garrote Rupture again. Make sure you get as much Ruptures and Garrote on people as possible, because you're allowed to spam it until Shadow Dance is off. And then just make sure you keep your dots up with Crimson Tempest and Garrote and Ruptures. And then obviously you can use your Death Mark on whatever kill target you're going to use it on, and so on and so forth. Just make sure before you Kingsbane, you Shiv, Thistletea, and Kingsbane. That's what you want to do in that order. And which reminds me, for macros, there's only one of them that I've been using. You can make more if you want to. I'm not really big on macros. I don't even use most of these anymore. The only one I really use is Kingsbane. So you can ignore the other ones. Actually, I do have, I forgot, I do have my burst macro for Deathmark, if you want that. But this is the main one you're going to want, and what this does is it uses Kingsbane with your trinket and Cold Blood. So it'll use the trinkets, which I'm using is the on use one, and then it'll use Cold Blood, and then it'll use King's Bane all in one macro. It is super useful. So you'll see some pretty high crits in PvP with it. And that is pretty much it, guys. If you have any more questions, let me know. Yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.